Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. It's time to do the review video, the ECX AMP MT. So if you've seen my unboxing video, I picked this up from eBay for under $100. I think I paid $93 for this RC car. It was a returned item sold by RC4U77. Check them out. They basically sell a bunch of Horizon Hobby return things, and you can get pretty good deals on these things. And this one was actually in really good shape, pretty much never ran, everything was fully functional, and so you can save quite a bit of money picking this up on eBay. So this regularly sells for $140, so under $100, about 90 something dollars is a pretty good deal overall. So I've been running this for a little while and wanted to give you my thoughts and review on this little RC car. So this is basically a monster truck, as ECX calls it, but it shares the same platform as the buggy and the stadium truck, which are called the Boost and Circuit, or I think they renamed the Boost the DB, so it's now called the DB. But they're all pretty much the same vehicle, have the same layout, everything, just different body and different tires. So I'm going to review this truck in multiple categories as usual. I'm going to rank them from 1 to 5 stars. So 3 stars is an average score as compared to other vehicles in this class. So it's sort of this sub $100 RC vehicles. And then I'm going to give it 5 stars if it's excellent and 1 star if it's really, really poor. So anyways, let's get into the review. So the first thing I wanted to cover is the extra electronics it comes with. So it is a completely ready to run vehicle. Comes with a vehicle, obviously, a radio, 2.4 gigahertz, a nickel metal hydride battery, which is a 6-cell 1800 milliamp hour battery, and a super basic wall charger. I think it's 200 milliamps, yeah. 300 milliamps, sorry. These are pretty typical of vehicles in this price range. It's nice to actually see a battery and wall charger, so you're ready to go out of the box. But this wall charger is quite slow. It's going to take you around 6 hours to fully charge a battery, so you'll definitely want to upgrade that really quickly. But it is nice to see they actually include everything. This radio is okay. It's got a fairly thick grip because the batteries go inside the grip here. Steering wheel, trigger feel actually pretty decent. And actually the thing I like most about this vehicle, or this radio, is it actually comes with all the adjustments that you'll want to see. It has little LEDs that tell you when it's on or off, but I did find that they're actually pretty hard to see in like low lighting, so you can actually leave this thing on fairly easily. But overall, it comes with everything you need. Now the downside to this radio is I did have some range problems with it. It only went to about 40-50 yards before it would sometimes shut off and I couldn't control the vehicle anymore. So I don't know if that's a problem with this particular one I've got, or it's common to all these radios and receivers. So something to watch out for. I did find the range fairly low. So overall on the electronics front, I'm going to give it a little bit below average score because I did have some range issues with this radio. So I'm going to give it 2 stars. But it is nice to actually see they include everything, although this charger you definitely want to upgrade as soon as possible. Okay, moving on to the design of this vehicle. Let's pop off the body. And if you look at this truck, it's basically the classical 2-wheel drive rear motor layout. So flipping it over, it's even more obvious. It pretty much looks like a Team Associated B4 style buggy or stadium truck. Got the standard sort of pear-shaped chassis, long pack down the middle, electronics on the side, servo up front laid down, and then your typical arms, shocks back here and shocks back here. The whole assembly kind of comes out as one unit when you unscrew everything on top. Shock tires, everything looks very, very typical of like a Team Associated B4. So I do like the design overall. I think it's quite a bit better than even something like a Wrestler, which is sort of a 20-year-old design at this point. Even though this design's a little bit dated now, it's only 10 years old. So overall, I do like the design. There are a lot of adjustments on the shocks positions, even adjustments for the camber links, although you will want to get adjustable camber links first. It's got a slipper clutch, gear differential, although it's not sealed. So pretty nice and well equipped overall. It does not fit a LiPo out of the box, so you'll have to raise these little thumb screws and kind of mount the strap on top of this little ledge back here. But it is adjustable, although you will have to make some changes to fit a LiPo. Things I don't like about the design, the differential is unsealed, and I don't think they make a sealed differential, so you will have to, that's sort of one of the weaknesses performance-wise, is you can't really fill that differential with some oil or anything to kind of limit the slip on that. But overall, I think the design is quite good. I'm going to give it 4 stars. Overall, I think it's definitely one of the better ones in this price range. On the performance front, there are some pros and some cons. Overall, I think the suspension of this truck is actually pretty good. It's pretty well damped and pretty well sprung. I think it's just about perfect, especially for something so light. It doesn't need really stiff damping or really stiff springs, so they got that right. The tires are okay on pavement, on well-packed dirt, but once you hit the loose stuff, these really don't provide very much grip, and so you know, it's something you probably want to upgrade if you're running in really loose conditions. Things I did not like are, it's pretty darn slow. On a LiPo, running downhill, I got up to about 19 miles per hour, which is pretty slow even for a cheap RC car like this. So I would have liked to see a faster vehicle. Now, I think maybe if you geared it up, it could probably handle that. That may be part of the problem why it's so slow. Because with the 20-turn motor, it should be a little bit quicker, but I did find it quite slow overall. Radio was okay, you know, in terms of controls and adjustments, but the range, as I mentioned, was pretty weak overall. So I'm going to give the performance a below category. I'm going to give it 2 stars because I feel like it's a slower than average vehicle, and the range on the radio is slower than average. But I think it's a pretty good platform. You know, the basics of the chassis, suspension, everything is really good. It's just kind of let down by the electronics. The ECX AMP MT was very durable overall. I haven't broken anything yet. The plastics seem quite stout, the arms, the shock towers, everything seems pretty good. I think part of that is due to the fact that it is quite so slow, so you're just not running into stuff very fast. It'd be interesting to see if it holds up on a brushless motor, on a much more powerful power system. But in terms of durability, I did like it overall. I think the front bumper is a nice design, large enough to basically protect the front end without being like crazy T-bone style bumper. The things that I think are a downside on the durability front are that it probably cannot handle much more power. It's got a fully plastic transmission. It's got plastic drive shafts, which are not particularly beefy. So while it's fine for the stock power system, I think you will probably encounter some issues if you try to upgrade the power system on this without upgrading the transmission and other parts. So durability, I'm going to give it 4 stars, but it's kind of got an advantage in the sense that it's so slow. It's too slow to actually break anything. So durability, 4 stars. An RC car is only as good as the parts you're able to get to fix it. So ECX is owned by Horizon Hobby, which is one of the largest RC companies in the world. They own most of the major brands here in the United States: Axial, Arma, TLR, Losi, and then of course ECX. So it is fairly easy to get parts for the ECX. The platform's been around for a while. There are upgrades you can get, so it's nice to see even some aftermarket parts by RPM and such. So that's a definite plus for the ECX. It's got a pretty basic design as well, so fairly standard layout. You know, everything's fairly easy to get to. If you've worked on another rear-wheel drive buggy, it's pretty much the same vehicle, so I do like that. Fairly easy to work on. Things I didn't like are these Phillips self-tapping screws. So they pretty much use Phillips all throughout. There's a few hex head screws here in the transmission and stuff, but 99% of the screws are these Phillips self-tapping screws. So not a big fan of those. I would have liked to see hex heads, especially for a $140 vehicle. I think at that price point you can afford to use some hex screws. Other things I did not like are these plastic wheel hexes. Just tend to fall off on their own. So when you pull off the wheel, these are not captured to the axle, and these tend to come out as well. So that gets kind of annoying. So overall on the support and maintenance side, I'm going to give it 3 stars. You know, parts are easy to get. It's nice to get some decent aftermarket support, but some of these basic things about the hexes, you know, non-captured hexes, the Phillips head screws, I think in this day and age, you know, should be a lot better. So I'm going to give it an average score in this area. Last category is the value of this RC truck. I paid $93, but it's normally $140. I think at $140, it's kind of an average price point for what you get. You know, things like the Traxxas Wrestler are a little bit more expensive, but probably a little bit faster, a little bit better equipped with an all-metal transmission and hex screws throughout, whereas this still's got the Phillips screws, still got the plastic gears in the transmission. So at $140, I think it's a fair price. If you're able to get one of these on eBay for under $100, I think it's a really good value. I definitely would give it 5 stars at that price point. It's got pretty much everything you would expect in this category, as well as I think a very nice upgrade path as well. So 5 stars if you can get it on eBay from RC4U77, or 3 stars if you're paying normal price. So my final thoughts on the ECX AMP MT is that it's a really good platform overall. I think the layout is really nice. The design is quite good. The shocks actually work pretty well for, you know, cheap plastic shocks. It's got a nice upgrade path as well. I mean, you can get all metal gears for the transmission. You can upgrade things like the hexes, the steering rack. There's some RPM parts as well. So you could definitely make it lipo and brushless capable, although it's not really out of the box. So I think it's a pretty good truck overall. I'm going to do a comparison versus the Red Cat Piranha and the Arma Phase-On Voltage and see which is sort of the best RC car under $100. I think this is definitely one of the contenders. Out of the box, I am let down by the electronics. It is fairly slow, so this is a little more suitable for you know, a kid or you know, a rank beginner. But I think an adult would get kind of bored with the power initially. You know, after a few battery packs of running, you'll kind of want some more speed. So it is something that I think out of the box is just okay, but you do have the opportunity and the upgrade path to make this a lot better. I think the platform overall is really, really good. I mean, if you compare this to something like a Wrestler, the Wrestler seems antiquated compared to this, even though this is not a super modern design. But, you know, it's definitely got all the adjustments, and the layout, I think that is going to make a good platform to make something better. You could, you know, even theoretically race this in some beginner classes and stuff. It's actually, I think, that good of a handling vehicle and good platform overall. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the ECX AMP MT. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, hit the add notifications button. That'll let you know when I have new videos coming out. And thanks for watching. Look for more videos soon.